Hi viewers. Some paths appear only beneath the moon, and some are meant for just one soul to follow. Tonight, a mysterious silver wolf will lead a young fairy beyond everything she has ever known. Welcome, my friends, to the fairy who followed the Luna wolf at midnight. At the edge of the peaceful village of Orion stood a small cottage surrounded by tall pine trees. It had once belonged to Lunara's grandmother, and though the village was quiet by day, the forest beyond it seemed to hold secrets that only revealed themselves beneath the moon. Lunara had lived in the cottage since her grandmother passed away. She spent her quiet days reading old books, tending herbs, and listening to the forest beyond her window. Among her grandmother's belongings was a silver crescent pendant, one of the few things Lunara treasured most. One morning, Lunara noticed something unusual outside the cottage. Large paw prints pressed deep into the damp earth. They began near her doorway and led toward the forest, but after only a short distance, they suddenly disappeared. Curious, Lunara followed the paw prints toward the forest, but just beyond the edge of the trees, the trail ended without warning. She searched the ground again and again, wondering what kind of creature could leave such tracks and then vanish without a trace. That evening, Lunara found herself thinking about the strange paw prints again. As darkness settled over Orion and moonlight touched the pine trees, she stood by the window, unaware that the mystery was about to come much closer. When the cottage clock struck midnight, Lunara looked toward the window and froze. Beneath the moonlight stood a magnificent silver wolf with glowing blue eyes, staring silently back at her. The silver wolf returned the next night, and the night after that, always at exactly midnight, watching Lunara in silence before vanishing into the forest. By the sixth night, Lunara no longer felt afraid. She was certain of one thing now. The wolf was waiting for her. On the seventh night, Lunara was ready. As midnight struck, the silver wolf turned toward the forest instead of disappearing. Lunara opened the cottage door, hesitated only for a moment, then stepped outside and followed him. Lunara followed the wolf deeper into the forest, but soon everything began to change. The familiar path shimmered beneath the moonlight, strange blue lights appeared between the trees, and far ahead, an enchanted village slowly emerged from the mist. Lunara stepped into the hidden village in disbelief. Glowing cottages climbed the hills, waterfalls shimmered beneath the moon, and fairies filled the lantern-lit paths. But as she entered, conversations slowly stopped, and one by one, the villagers turned to stare at her. As Lunara followed the Luna wolf into the village, conversations stopped one by one. A woman carrying flowers gasped, and several villagers turned toward her. Then someone whispered,
Lunara.
Another voice said,
She came back.
Lunara stopped in confusion.
How do you know my name?
But no one answered. An elderly fairy stepped slowly through the crowd and stopped before Lunara. She whispered,
You look so much like her.
Lunara frowned.
Like who?
The elderly fairy's eyes softened.
Your mother.
Lunara's heart skipped a beat. Her mother. She had never seen her mother's face, only memories wrapped in moonlight and whispers. The elderly fairy smiled kindly.
She was the guardian of the moonlit falls, just like you.
Lunara felt a rush of emotions, wonder, longing, and a little fear.
Why was she taken from me?
The elderly fairy's eyes softened with sorrow.
Because your light was never meant to stay hidden forever. You were always meant to return.
Lunara's eyes filled with tears.
Return? But how? And why now?
Meili stepped closer and gently touched her cheek.
The time has come. The magic that hid you is fading, and the truth can no longer be kept from you.
The Luna wolf raised his head and howled softly beneath the moonlight. Meili continued.
You are not only the guardian's daughter Lunara, you are the one who may restore what was broken.
Lunara took a deep breath.
Then show me everything.
Melis led Lunara deeper into the village and showed her the truth of the past. Years ago, Lunara's mother, Serenia, had been the guardian of the moon veil. When a dark force began spreading through the forest, Serenia used her own magic to protect Noctara and sent baby Lunara away before the veil sealed. Lunara stared at the vision in silence.
So she gave up everything to save this place.
Melis nodded softly.
And to save you?
Melis brought Lunara to the heart of Noctara, where the old guardian magic still lingered. She lifted a glowing moonstone pendant and said,
This belonged to your mother. It carries part of the power she left behind.
Lunara looked at it in wonder.
And what am I supposed to do with it?
Melis glanced toward the Luna Wolf.
First, you must learn why he brought you here.
Melis turned toward the Luna Wolf.
Long ago, Orion was one of the youngest moon guardians of Noctara. Your mother trained him and trusted him deeply.
Lunara looked at the wolf in surprise.
You mean he wasn't always like this?
Melis shook her head.
When the moon veil was sealed, Orion's magic changed with it. Since that night, he has been trapped in the form of the Luna Wolf.
Lunara looked into his glowing blue eyes.
And his true form?
Melis smiled faintly.
It is still there, waiting for the right moment to return.
Melis opened an ancient book and showed Lunara the final secret of the moon veil.
To restore Noctara, you must return to the moonlit falls, where your mother's magic still remains.
Lunara glanced at Orion.
And him?
Melis smiled softly.
Orion is part of the answer. Your power and his were always meant to awaken together.
Lunara looked back at the glowing vision.
Then we go to the falls.
Lunara and Orion followed the moonlit path toward the moonlit falls. As they drew closer, the pendant in Lunara's hand began to glow brighter. She stared at the magnificent falls ahead.
This is where my mother's magic remains.
Orion stayed close beside her as they continued forward, toward the place where everything had begun. At the moonlit falls, Lunara lowered her mother's pendant toward the glowing water. The moment it touched the moonlight, the pool began to shimmer. A familiar voice drifted through the mist. Lunara. She looked up in shock as the image of her mother appeared before her.
Mother?
Serenia smiled softly. You came back. Before Lunara could reach her mother, a dark force rose from the water and spread across the falls.
Lunara, do not let it reach the veil.
Lunara gripped the glowing pendant and whispered.
Then we finish this together.
Orion lunged forward, blocking the dark force from reaching Lunara.
Orion.
Behind them, Serenia's voice rose above the crashing water.
Lunara, trust the pendant. Your magic is already within you.
Lunara lifted the glowing crystal high. The darkness suddenly recoiled. The darkness finally began to break apart beneath Lunara's light. The last shadow dissolved into the mist. The pendant blazed brighter than ever. Its magic swept over Orion, wrapping him in ribbons of silver blue light. Orion, the bond is awakening. The golden light grew brighter until Orion's wolf form vanished within it slowly. The shape inside the light began to change when the glowing ribbons finally parted. Lunara stared in amazement. Standing before her was Orion in his true fairy form, his familiar blue eyes shining back at her. After all those nights beneath the moon, the Luna Wolf had finally returned to who he truly was. Orion held out his hand and smiled softly. You followed me without knowing where I would lead you. Somehow, I knew I could trust you. Behind them, Serenia watched with a peaceful smile. The moon veil was restored, and at last, both of them were free. For the first time, Lunara stood face to face with the one she had followed for 7 mysterious nights. Orion held out his hand and smiled softly.
You followed me without knowing where I would lead you.
Lunara placed her hand in his.
Somehow, I knew I could trust you.
Behind them, Serenia watched with a peaceful smile. The moon veil was restored, and at last, both of them were free. Hand in hand, Lunara and Orion returned to Noctara. As they entered the village, the restored moon veil swept across the valley. The waterfalls shimmered, flowers awakened, and every lantern glowed beneath the moon. The fairies gathered joyfully to welcome them home. Lunara looked around in wonder. The village that had once felt strangely familiar no longer seemed like a mystery at last. She understood. Noctara was part of her home all along. As dawn touched the mountains, Lunara and Orion stood together above the restored kingdom of Noctara. Lunara smiled as she remembered the silver wolf who had appeared beneath her window for 7 mysterious nights. She finally understood. Orion had never been leading her away from home. He had been leading her back to where she truly belonged. And beneath the fading moon, their new story was only beginning. And so, with a new morning over Noctara, Lunara finally found where she belonged, with Orion beside her. Until our next tale, may a little magic always find its way to you.